all three of them, the Women's Am, the Open, kicking off in a 1 month stretch back in 1895.
You saw Jerry Payne, who won here at Ridgewood in 1974, and then 2 years later hit that 5-iron at the age of 22 to win that U.S. Open in Atlanta.
All right.
It's an elite list. If you can join the folks that took care of both in the USGA individual amateur championships dating all the way back to 1895 with the amateur and the women's amateur, and then through the years and the decades, just how they've expanded with the juniors and the seniors and the mid-amateurs in the 80s, and then what they've done with the Adaptive Open earlier this year at Pinehurst. You can make the argument the most influential championship the USGA has created. So a lot of fun being part of these USGA championships once again. Who's going to be first, Smiley? Looks like Beware.
71. It's going to be Justin here first.
Looks like he drew an okay lie.
Yeah, the lie's totally fine between the two of them. But both these players are going to walk all the way up here just to take a peek at this tough little front right hole location. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, Justin being 2 up, he's got options too. I'd like to see this ball out to the right, use that slope, try to slow it down a little bit. If he takes on this hole location, he's got to fly it up on that false front. If it doesn't get all the way up there, it'll come back quite a ways off the green. But he knows that Walker doesn't have a very good lie, doesn't have a very good angle, then he's going to have to hit a wonderful golf shot.
Yeah, John, I think this lie kind of determines what type of shot you're going to play, and that's kind of how it goes with the rough. And for this lie that he has, it's a really nice lie, and I think what he's going to be trying to do from 72 yards is just land it right on the front of that green.
Somewhere out to the right, use that slope, help slow it down coming out of the rough. He can take it to the left and try to hit it to the center of the green. Being 2 up, he doesn't have to hit the miracle shot.
70. He just has to get on. Cook, he's making a practice swing that makes it kind of look like he's going to try to hit it up on maybe pin high, that kind of line you're talking about. I kind of saw a shot that was a little lower and landing on the front of the green, but I think he might see it a little different than we were.
Yeah, coming out of the rough, you know it's going to have a little bit of overspin. He wants to clear at least 70, he said.
Oh, well judged.
He played the shot that you said he was going to play. A little bit lower, landed short, hopping up there.
Well thought out, well executed there by Beware.
A lot of pressure now on Walker Isley. He's got to hit a miracle shot.
Yeah, and this lie is very difficult, John. It's almost like it's an anthill of rough that his ball is sitting on top of.
So this ball is going to have some scoot to it, so he's going to have to try to play the same type of shot, land it short, run it up there.
Absolutely. A bunch of rough right behind his golf ball, which is going to make sure he has got to keep the speed up in this shot. And it came out way short.
Big swing, and it just kind of fluffed up in the air. Looks like he's trying to go way upstairs. I would have thought he would play back in the stance, square that face up a little bit, and try to drive one in there a little bit lower, let it run out.
So this is the final match of this Thursday morning round of 32, 122nd U.S. Amateur Championship. The winner will move on to face Derek Hitchner later this afternoon here at Ridgewood. Hugo Townsend, the 3 seed, taking on Shea Legou, and some of these early matches off and running in the round of 16. Bennett and Pooch shaping up to be a good one. Keep an eye on Luke Potter, the 8 seed, the teenager heading to Arizona State in just a few weeks. A very talented junior golfer making a big statement here this week in New Jersey as we go back down to the 17th. And considering that Beware's 2 up, 2 to play, his opponent, Beware, is in relatively close. You got to think Isley has to make it, or we're probably done. Good position to be in if you're B. Were. Not so much for Isley.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking to hit a little low bump and run shot into this false front.
And drive it into that bank. Little check release. Really good effort. It's going to come up short though.
So Isley has that for par. B. Were, he's got a birdie putt. You see his mark there, maybe call it 9 or 10 feet. And he's got 2 putts to win, so maybe Isley just wants to see one, make sure it doesn't get away from his opponent. Hard to see this with much pace. Smiley.
And this will be creeping going down this slope.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast putt, but just 2 putts is all he needs. So I think pretty easy one here as a player, knowing you only need 2 putts to keep going.
It's got some left to right in it. It's going to play it out there to the left. Try to slow it down a little bit. Just let it wiggle down there.
Yeah, John, and the breeze is kind of coming back into his face, which is helping him not get it too far past the hole if he happens to hit it too hard.
Just eased it down there. Didn't have the speed to hold the line, but that's all he needed to do, and he'll move on.
So big with a 2-1 victory to face Derek Kitchener this afternoon. You're down to 16, 8 matches coming up this afternoon. Today's uninterrupted coverage of the 122nd United States Amateur Championship was presented by Rolex. Our coverage continues tomorrow on Peacock at 11 a.m., switching over to Golf Channel at noon Eastern. And coming up next, it is the Golf Central pregame getting you set for the FedEx Cup playoffs, the BMW Wilmington, Delaware. Sam Bennett against David Pooge this afternoon. Stuart Hagestad, mid-am champ, trying to keep his roll going. 15-year-old Nicholas Gross is still in it. Ricky Castillo, the star from Florida, as well as the long shot Alex Price. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long from the U.S. Amateur Championship. Brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods.
Welcome along to the second week of golf's post-season, where 70 of the original 125 players who qualified for the 16th edition of the FedEx Cup playoffs remain. This week, we're at Wilmington Country Club in Delaware for the BMW Championship to determine the Tour Championship field of 30 players next week. And after securing his first PGA beating Sepp Straka on the 3rd extra hole at TPC Southwind, Will Zalatoris is your new FedEx Cup leader. And he's just getting his week started here at the BMW Championship. But Cara Banks alongside Aaron Overholser and Mark Rolfing, he had a couple of runner-up finishes in major championships this year. It was good to see him finally break through.
It really was. And after this putt goes in here for the win, you'll see, Cara, that for Will, this was relief. That to me looks like relief. It's over. I've finally done it. This is what I've worked for my whole life. I should have done this earlier in his mind probably, but he got it done. He got it out of the way, and now I really think, much like what we talked about with Tony Finau and what happened with David Duval, the floodgates can open.
I mentioned he was just getting his opening round underway here at Wilmington Country Club. That was his opening tee shot. He's going out alongside the man who was the FedEx Cup leader until last week. That is Scotty Scheffler. As we welcome you into our location, pleased and proud to be live and on site here at the BMW Championship all week long. And I just mentioned that win. You saw, Rob, the emotion pour out of Will Zalatoris when he hugged his fiancée there, kind of the relief that Aaron alluded to. We just showed you 3 putts in the highlight package. What impressed you the most as he crossed that winning line?
Well, I'll tell you what impressed me was the lead up to him actually winning, because he had come so close, and a lot of guys would have gotten discouraged. I never heard Will Zalatoris complain, never blamed it on anybody else, took it all on himself. And all he did was work harder. It just made him work harder and harder. I talked to my good friend Lee Trevino, who watches him a lot in Dallas, both play and practice. And Lee said everybody talks about his ball striking, but nobody really talks about how hard he works all the time. It was very gratifying, and who knows what the limit now is for Will Zalatoris.
He comes from great stock. You know, his parents, Rick and Kathy Zalatoris, are phenomenal people, and it's the maturity that you can see that he has that a lot of the great players have had, like Jordan Spieth, who came on and won early. You know, the only thing that was missing for Will was the consistency on the greens. You know, I think that his putting has been much maligned because of what you see statistically, and maybe what you see visually with the stroke inside that 5-foot range. He's not a bad putter at all. He's actually a very good putter, and now he's going to be able to show how good a putter he is, especially since he got since the PGA. It's been phenomenal. He's gained a half a shot a round on the field every round he's played since the PGA. You can see right here, entering the PGA Championship, he was struggling. Well, he made some changes, and I talked to Will. I was able to talk to Will and text with him last night. I said, hey, what exactly were the changes that you made to get to where you're at right now? And he said, look, it was pretty simple. He goes, Aaron, all I did was I figured out exactly what I needed to do from my setup standpoint. He got his eyes more over the ball, which means he can see the line that he wants to start the putt on. So his perception of where the putt's starting, where the line is a lot better. And then his practice got harder. And he made a little adjustment with his right hand. The right hand got over the ball. So basically, Will was able to figure out exactly where he needed his parameters are to set up to the ball the same way every time. And that is difficult to do. That's what the best players do week in and week out. They set up to the ball not only from a ball striking standpoint, but from a putting standpoint. That's really the only thing that I think that Will was missing and what he's got now. And now that he's got this baseline that he can go back to, Rolf, I mean, he was a dangerous player beforehand, but look out now. I mean, it could be on really quick with Will Zalatoris now that he's figured out the putt.
I'm a firm believer, Aaron, that your putting should be like your golf swing, and the same fundamentals apply. Grip, aim, ball position, posture. And he seemed to be a little bit off, particularly in that shorter range. And now that he's got those fundamentals down, you're right, he's a better than average on the PGA Tour putter.
And loves this golf course, so it could be a dangerous prospect again this week. Well, for more on Will Zalatoris, let's welcome in the other member of our team. That is Kira Kate Dixon, who caught up with Will himself yesterday. Kira, what did he have to say coming off that victory?
Well, Cara, as Aaron was just mentioning, he's made lots of changes since the PGA Championship, and most notably, he's also made a caddy change to Joel Stock. And I asked him what it's like to have a new caddy on the bag, and he said that it's not fair to compare him to his former caddy, Ryan Goebel, but it just feels like a honeymoon stage. It's a fresh, clean slate, and it kind of frees you up. And the thing that he's most impressed with Joel is that he understood his body movements in about 5 days. When he was sad, when he was tired, when he was walking too fast or breathing too hard, Joel was able to pick up on those things and help him manage all of that on the way to a victory that he still quite can't believe.
I don't think it'll sink in until after East Lake. It's been coming. We celebrated, obviously, and
What was the problem?
It's not as fun as you think. It was just kind of for a couple of drinks and some late night pizza after the tournament. So it was a lot of fun to have there, and my family came in this week. It's nice to see them.
To get the win, how much of a relief has that been for you?
It's like I said, it kind of hasn't hit me. I mean, like I said, I feel like I have some more unfinished business. Obviously, to do it the way that I did was a little more dramatic than what I would have liked. I'll take it considering how close I met.
As you guys were mentioning at the desk, the putting changes were one thing, but it was also self-belief that came after the PGA Championship. He putted beautifully there 3 out of 4 days and had an amazing performance coming down the stretch to get him into that playoff with Justin Thomas. But his short game coach, Josh Gregory, told me that night after the PGA Championship wrapped up, Will Zalatoris texted him at about 1 in the morning and he said, "Coach, I believe now. I know I can do this. This was the mental breakthrough that he needed." And guys, it looks like it's paying off.
Right, and he came so close again then at the US Open, didn't even now. Eventually, he is a PGA Tour winner. Well, let's update you on how things look early on here at the BMW Championship. Play began at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. No one better than Keegan Bradley so far. Opened up nicely with a 7-under par round of 64. Don't forget, he is a former winner of this event, the BMW champion from 2018. Not too far from here. That was at Runnymede, just outside of Philadelphia. Good round for Adam Scott and Xander Schauffele, amongst others, still on the golf course. And we will be out there live in just about 12 minutes' time when we send you to live coverage at the top of the hour.
Golf Central pregame, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And by the new Ping i525 iron, where distance and feel connect. It's a powerful feeling.
She was in her car seat. Now she's going to be in the driver's seat. I guess there's a first time for everything. Today is all about the basics. Gotta have unbeatable focus. Kind of like the unbeatable you get from Chevron with Techron. He knows it helps keep my engine clean. And she knows how to pay with the Chevron app. Everyone's learning today. Right, next stop, the parking lot. The empty parking lot.
Unbeatable mileage for you and your car.
Let's do this.
Word.
Show me some. Come on. This is the one.
That was a good one. There it is.
Real more.
Macular degeneration. There's only so much time before it can lead to blindness. Clinical studies show that a specific nutrient formula can help reduce the risk of dry AMD progression. Ask your doctor now about an AREDS 2 supplement.
What are you waiting for? It's Dawn's fastest and easiest way to clean everyday dishes. On simple messes, just spray, wipe, and rinse. On tough messes, its spray-activated suds have 5 times faster grease cleaning power to break down grease without water. Plus, its targeted spray cleans even hard-to-reach places better. So, replace your dish soap with Dawn Power Wash and spray your dishes clean.
Because here, every shot gets you one step closer to the ultimate prize. The BMW Championship on Golf Channel and Peacock.
Golf Central pregame, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
It is time now for TP 5 Things to Know, presented by TaylorMade. The BMW Championship is the second leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs. After this event, the top 30 players in the standings advance to the Tour Championship. Wilmington Country Club is making its PGA Tour debut. It's also the first time the PGA Tour has ever played an event in the state of Delaware. The course is playing long and as a par 71. Well, Justin Thomas is the only player in the field with prior experience here, having played as a member of the U.S. team in the 2013 edition of the Palmer Cup. Meanwhile, it is Will Zalatoris who enters as the leader in FedEx Cup standings after, of course, earning his first PGA Tour victory last week in Memphis. And the leader in FedEx Cup standings after this week at the BMW Championship will start the Tour Championship next week at 10 under par due to that change in their scoring system. Patrick Cantlay, of course, not only the defending champion this week, but also the FedEx Cup reigning champion from last year. Speaking of which, let's get you out to the golf course and check in on some early opening round highlights. Here is our defending champion playing his third at the par 4 fifth hole.
Beautiful shot there from Patrick Cantlay. In the rough spot, you Rolf, but you can play out of it. You just got to get the right lie.
Up and down to save par. Rolf Speed coming off a miscut last week.
This is a really cool shot, folks. Obviously a lot easier playing out of the fairway. This is hard to do. Back hole location. Look, and jumped it into the intermediate rough and then that tremendous distance control there for Speed.
Converts the birdie, gets to 1 under. Colin Morikawa was the man on form last season, very much entering the FedEx Cup playoffs. He's made it back here again at 7.
Not quite the same year he had last year by any stretch of the imagination, but T5 last week, and boy, I'll tell you what, if that club gets hot again, it's been kind of off and on this year, look out for him.
That got him to 2 under. Here is Justin Thomas playing his second of 4.
You know, the overall yardage of the course is a little bit misleading. A lot of the yardage is on a few of the holes. So there are some short par 4s like this one right here. And you're going to see players with this distance all day long, but not many shots hit that close from 109.
So that got him to 3 under. Now Zana Schauffele on the tee, or not even on the tee, sorry, his second at 14.
What? Boy, he's well over somewhere weird that we haven't seen before. Par 5. And playing across it, beautiful shot there. You can get to that's a downhill one. It's downhill by quite a ways, so you can get to that 622-yard par 5 there, and that would be a 2-putt birdie for him.
Yeah, to get to 5 under now. Sam Burns, another multiple winner this season on the tee at 7.
Yeah, I love this guy's chances this week. Had a good week last week in Memphis. Oh, carries it just over the bunker. How do you land it there?
Well, both he and Schauffele have 3 wins this season. He would convert that birdie at the par 3 and get to 3 under today. So take another look then at this scoreboard. 7 under, the number posted by Keegan Bradley. Adam Scott just 1 back, and then a host of names out on the golf course already. We look forward to watching them complete their round in our live coverage. That's on the way in about 6 minutes time, but we'll be back in 30 seconds with more on this golf course.
Beat, what up, Barry?
Hey, Chuck. Aren't you supposed to be on the course?
I was, but I need a new driver.
Oh, what kind?
One that hits the ball better.
Okay, I got you. Let's go to the hitting bay. Oops. Maybe we need a new driver for the cart, too.
You're a funny guy. Ooh, that's nice.
That one definitely hits the ball.
Come on, get in.
Yeah, I'm good.
Suit yourself.
Oh, no.
Well, the South Course here at Wilmington Country Club is a par 71. We're playing at 7,534 yards. Designed by Robert Trent Jones Sr. back in 1959, it has hosted 6 USGA events in the past, along with that 2013 edition of the Palmer Cup that Justin Thomas featured in. For more on what the players have been saying about the golf course this week, let's hear from them.
I played the Palmer Cup here in 2012 or 2013. I think once I got a little bit here and there, but I do not remember the greens at all. They're very severe. They have a lot of slope. It's going to be very important leading in the right spots and not missing it in the incorrect spots. And the greens are so good that if you do put it in good spots in the greens, you can make a lot of putts. But it's going to be a place where you really have to kind of plot your way around. It's a lot of easy holes and a lot of really difficult holes. So just kind of picking your spots.
or do you think the greens are the best defense at this golf course?
I do, yeah. The rough is very spotty. You have, at least I've noticed, you have some times where you have really good lies, and then you have times where you're just trying to hit it 60, 70 yards down the fairway. So it's going to be a little bit of luck in that regard, but I think it has the potential to, especially the weather's like this and the greens can get a little firmer and faster. It's going to be a good test.
Incredible. I've never been here before. It's my first time at Delaware. This is a big boy golf course. I mean, 7,500 yards. All three of the par fives are basically not reachable. Huge sloping greens. If I were to design a golf course, this is probably how I would design it for me. So I'm very excited. Obviously, my first time around this place, but the other part too is what an incredible build out on the last 5-6 holes. This is going to be a really fun experience coming down the stretch. Obviously,
a lot of room off the tee, a lot more scope to hit driver. Length is an advantage here, where in Memphis it's not really. Sort of just, my sort of golf course that I feel like I can excel on. So it's been good to have some early looks at it. I got here Friday night after the missed cut, and I've been here, so I've been on the course every day since Saturday. But it's been good. It's nice to get back out and prepare and get to know a new golf course, get a little bit of a head start on everyone else, and I like the track. It's a good setup.
Slipped down to 9th after that miscut last week at the FedEx St. Jude, but as you just heard, he's been getting his practice in ahead of this week. Look, Wilmington Country Club is the top-ranked course in Delaware. It's the first time the PGA Tour have been here, and from what the players are saying, we're set for a pretty good week, aren't we?
I think we are. I think the golf course is it's your typical big kind of Parkland-style golf course, Rolf, and I think that that's going to suit the bigger hitters. But you look at a guy like Ches Reavie, as long as it stays firm and fast, he's going to have to do some things really well, but he can compete on a golf course like this. So like I said, as long as it stays firm and fast. But I love what you said. There are a lot of long, really hard holes, and there are a lot of really short, easy holes, and that's kind of a nice mix.
All you have to do is take a look at the leaderboard, and you will see what style of player is going to win this championship. He's going to be a high ball hitter, and he's going to be hitting the ball a long way. I don't see that changing. I haven't been here quite as long as Rory. He got here last Friday, but I've been here since Monday, and I've had a good look at it. My first time to Delaware also. I'm just so impressed visually with this course. Aesthetically, it's some of the best bunkering I've seen. I love the up and down. You have a lot of holes where you're driving it down into the fairway and then back up the hill. And I think it's a very worthy venue for what's become one of the most important events on the entire PGA Tour. The FedEx Cup has dramatically changed. It's not all about the money anymore. It's about the importance of going on a guy's resume to be the FedEx Cup champion.
Yeah, it is indeed, because it's almost, as you said, the next step from a major championship. And by the way, you've been here since Monday, and it was a big moment for you. Ticked off your last and final state.
I've been to every state now. How about that?
How impressive is that? He's a well-traveled man, our Rolf. He was so happy to step on the ground here in Delaware. It's time to join live coverage. We'll see you for our post-game show tonight. Enjoy the golf.
Second straight week, it is a brand new venue for the FedEx Cup playoffs, and Wilmington Country Club provides a big-time look to the second of 3 playoff events to decide the FedEx Cup in the first round of the BMW Championship, where the new #1 guy on the FedEx Cup points list, Will Zalatoris, is early in his first round here at the BMW Championship after picking up his first PGA Tour win last week in Memphis. But everybody else trying to position themselves behind Zalatoris, including Keegan Bradley. His last PGA Tour victory was just up the road, some 25 miles at Aronimink in this BMW Championship. Tee shot at the par 3 7th there for Keegan, trying to move his way up from 44th on the FedEx Cup points list. He was out in 29 and looking for more here on his second 9. Tee at the par 3 15th, 216 yards. A near ace there, part of a 64 for Keegan Bradley. Off and running at 7 under, playing with Adam Scott, who ended up on Sunday with a 66 in Memphis and picked up here in Wilmington where he left off. 65 for Scott. Up 32 spots last week, looking to make another big move. And this is Harold Varner III, 65th on the list, looking to stay alive. For East Lake, birdie at 13 for Harold Varner III. He shot 66. Shane Lowry eagled the par 5 14th. A few holes later, came to the 17th, the par 4, and did this. Nearly pulled it out for eagle, tap and birdie for Lowry to get to 6 under. He bogeyed 18, and he did post a 66. And then just moments ago, Justin Thomas for eagle at the par 5 14th from 41 feet. Perfect speed for Justin Thomas, who won this BMW championship just a few years ago at Medina to move to 6 under. So JT is in that tie for second with Adam Scott. Dan Hicks here, joined by Paul Azinger and our NBC Sports golf crew. You're excited to be in Wilmington for the very first time as we get you out to this big golf course, and we'll start you off at the big par 5 third with Rory McIlroy and Steve Sands with a call.
Dan, thank you. The first of the 3 par 5s here at Wilmington Country Club, and McIlroy, a 2-time FedEx Cup champion, who's been here since Saturday getting to know this golf course, and how about that? At the par 5, the 7th player to reach the 3rd in 2, a relatively short eagle putt in the early stages here at the par 5 third ball.
What an intangible for Rory McIlroy to have that ability to hit a 3 with that high uphill. This is a dogleg right, a forced cut off the tee to a fairway that slopes away from you. You see the carries. Then the second shot's uphill from where Rory was to that pin in the corner. I think we just saw probably the best shot of the week.
And now back on the tee with Will Zalatoris. 2 days removed from turning 26. 4 days removed from his first ever PGA Tour victory. What a thriller that was on Sunday in Memphis. And he swipes that a little bit, missing the fairway. And he's playing with a good friend in Scotty Scheffler. So number 1 in the FedEx Cup, playing with the number 1 player in the official World Golf ranking. Love the FedEx Cup playoffs, putting these guys together. So cool for the fans. Okay, that's what you do. You stripe it.
Watch it go, though.
No problem. Yeah, hangs in there on the left side. As we go up to the green now, and Nota Begay, that was some second shot from Rory.
It really was, and Rory and I were joking walking up to the green because he didn't hear much applause from the crowd up here from the fairway back there because it's probably so far away. And I said, wow, what a tough crowd out here. These guys didn't give you a whole lot of love for that shot. I guess they must not have known how hard it was.
I was talking to Rory a little bit earlier on the range today before this first round. He missed the cut last week in Memphis, and then he flew right here to Wilmington. He has been on this golf course, Paul, looking at it, wanting to get to know it a little bit. It takes a while for these guys to get to know a golf course when they see it for the first time.
Well, when you're serious about a championship, you come in early if you can. And, a missed cut was a bit of a surprise for all of us last week for Rory. But he went right back to work.
Oh, he just missed the first eagle of the day there at 3. All right, that'll be a tap-in birdie for Rory. He's off to a nice start. Only 2 players have ever won multiple FedEx Cup titles. That man and Tiger Woods. Let's fast forward all the way to 15.
All right, Steve, downhill, 19 feet. Justin Thomas on the tee of this par 3. This is going to be an awful lot of fun to watch today, John Wood.
Absolutely, Jimmy. Back into the breeze. That's going to cancel out that downhill. Probably going to play right on the 216 number. This whole location is right in the narrowest part of the green, right in the front where that penalty and bumper come into play. So I would look for the players to try and hit this a little bit long and use that backstop to bring it back.
Wood coming off the eagle on 14. He's 6 under par. See 1 off with the lead.
This is 5 iron for JT. Starting well to the right, trying to sweep it in off that bunker.
Yeah, it's a popular location over there.
It's a pretty good spot. I mean, that's not bad at all with what's left of this hole.
Back over to 3.
And the man who lost in the playoff on Sunday in Memphis, Sepp Straka, trying to get to 100. Okay. Played so well last week. He's kind of rolling along here in the FedEx Cup playoffs. And there's the man he lost to, Will Zalatoris. Zalatoris, and Roger Maltby, it's a rare missed fairway.
And tried to cut the corner, and there's a little breeze hurting. Might have floated it just a hair, did not cover this bunker at the dog leg. And there's 292 left to go, so forced to just lay out. The question is, how far does he want to take it up the fairway? I would think he's going to leave it short of the first fairway bunker on the left. He's trying to do just that, but he's well right. This is going to find rough.
Yes, it does, and it nestles down. To the 12th, we send you.
Par 5, Christian Bezaden out. You see him in the red there, 46, trying to make his way into the top 30. That will help a little bit. And back 3.
Scotty Scheffler up the hill.
Giving it a rip. 271 hole, 255 to the front.
And that one also goes into the rough, perhaps into the bunker, Dan.
But we talked about it, Steve, in his very first playoff event. Will Zalatoris, along with Sepp Straka, put on a wild playoff show of their own in Memphis that we won't soon forget. Zalatoris facing a 10-foot putt here. This one is buried! Will Zalatoris, Sepp Straka, headed for a sudden death playoff. Oh man, I hit the cart path. The twirl told the story. Can he make another big one for par? And he executes. They're heading to their third hole in sudden death. It just hops along.
It's like he's not in the water.
Also shorted and along. Now what's going to happen? I think that just makes Will Zalatoris' decision even easier to go back to the drop zone. It could come down to a putt like this. And he's got it! Zalatoris is a PGA Tour winner. NBC Sports and the PGA Tour are proud to present the FedEx Cup playoffs. Today it's live first-round coverage of the BMW Championship. And just 5 miles from downtown Wilmington is the first ever official PGA Tour event to be held in the state of Delaware. Wilmington Country Club, with its dramatic elevation changes, can play more than 7,500 yards. It features some huge sloping greens, as well as some juicy fescue and bluegrass rough. As now the push is on to make it to the final 30, who will vie for the FedEx Cup title next week. And it's going to be a fast and furious quest to get there, as Keegan Bradley has put up a 64 to take over the lead at the moment. As we take a look at this opening leaderboard brought to you by the Western Golf Association. Just saw Justin Thomas's eagle to power him up within one, tied with Adam Scott, who's in with that 65. Adam Scott with that big move last week up 32 spots. Looking to make his way into East Lake as well. There's Rory McIlroy, who missed the cut last week, trying to bounce back. 2 under, good start for him. Patrick Cantley, the defending champ. Jordan Spieth, the best players in the world, looking to make it back to Atlanta as you go back to Zalatoris at the 3rd.
Yeah, he's in the right rough, Roger. Doesn't look pretty from down there, but you have a better vantage point.
Well, they've given it kind of a graduated cut of rough this week, and he's missed the first bit of primary and out in the longer primary rough. And it's deep. He's got 140 up this hill, kind of a blind shot. He can see the top of the flagstick. That's about it. It's going to be a tumbler. It's going to have to be kind of a lash.
Yeah. Now it's kind of rattling around there. To show you the difference between hitting the fairway and hitting the rough, or the bunker off the tee like Zalatoris did. He was 140 out with his third. McIlroy previously was 7 feet for his third.
Steve, Justin Thomas, this to tie for the lead. We talk about how nobody has any experience here. This is the only man who has any experience in competition. Played in the 2013 Palmer Cup. He's 3-0-1, says he doesn't really remember much about the course. He's looking good on it today. 18th.
And Colin Morikawa coming up the hill. Pretty dramatic finishing hole here. Morikawa in good position to make it to East Lake. Again, he was the leading point getter heading into the playoffs last year.
He made a late charge last week. He started early and really got it going, and he's keeping it going. This is not a pushover on a golf course. You have to do everything pretty well.
And back to the third.
And the travails here at the par 5 of Will Zalatoris. There you see the bunkering, and boy, he's not even close to the green, is he, Raj?
No, this is now a shot where he's got a decent angle, but it's got issues. You don't want to drop a shot by 5 car, and he's certainly in danger of that.
Paul, from 1 week to the next, how does a player regroup after winning and having to turn it around really quickly?
Let's listen in 1 second.
Okay. What's our full number? 78. Probably play this about I like that. Yeah, just right of it? Yeah. Love it.
Golfers have a great ability to be right here, right now, and forget about what happened last week. And, you know, this is the first big test for him after that emotional win.
To spin, I think that even stays.
That's better than nice.
Yeah.
That was really probably the yardage that tour players practice the least.
Let's head up to the fourth. Second for Sepp Straka. Just 85 yards left.
That's an incredible tee shot. That's a drive. Wow. And a good second. Oh, look at this action. We're going to see some action this week. These greens are fast. They have lots of slope. It's really an exciting course.
3. And another bunker play here, this time from Scotty Scheffler.
This will have action too.
Oh, yeah. Wow, just stops there. How about that distance control?
Justin Thomas to clean up here. Looks like just about 2 feet. Got a clean card today. 4 birdies. Eagle. That has got to hurt. Second most difficult hole. Thomas. A nice putt from Justin off the green. So his first bogey of the day. Dan.
So Thomas dropping back to 5 under, and boy, that was a heck of a way to start the playoffs last week. Zane with Zalatoris and Straka in that wild playoff in Memphis, and it's going to be fun to see Will Zalatoris come back here again. You mentioned an emotional week last week with the playoff with Straka, his first long-awaited seemingly. I mean, he's only been on the tour now for 2 years now, but felt like a little bit of a long time with all those close calls he had. But here he is playing with the #1 player in the world, Scheffler, who's trying to bounce back in his own right from missing a cut for just the 4th time this year. So that's a nice, fun dynamic we're going to keep an eye on today.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, these playoffs this year, it feels like a sprint. It was 4 tournaments. We're down to 3, and Will Zalatoris and Scheffler have known each other since they were really little. Kind of reminds me of the Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas relationship. Look at that photo. And I just think it's really an interesting dynamic now that Will Zalatoris comes in here replacing a guy he's been competing against since that age. You know, Scheffler comes in, the #1 player in the world, but he has lost his 23-week reign on the #1 spot in the FedEx Cup. But let's not forget, I mean, this is the oldest tournament on the PGA Tour. I mean, they want the BMW Trophy too. That is a big part of this thing. Zalatoris, Scheffler vying for strokes for next week's competition. 40 guys are going home this week. 30 guys continue. They will be considered the very best players on tour in 2020.
Nobody playing better right now than that man, Will Zalatoris, but he is making a mess of the par 5 third. To
4. Straka's already tapped in for his birdie, and now Rory McIlroy for his. So Scheffler and McIlroy both trying to bounce back from his cuts last week. Just a little too much speed that was carrying for McIlroy, who will stay at 2 under. Well, you've heard from Steve Sands, Jimmy Roberts, Roger Maltby, Nota Begay, John Wood on the ground, Catherine Tappan handling the interviews after the players wrap up their first rounds here at the BMW Championship as we get you back out to the 3rd.
Scotty Scheffler, Roger, with a birdie attempt.
And trying to get the shot back he lost at the last. About 8-9 feet here.
Hit the fairway at the par 5 to walk away with a 5. Scotty will not be pleased with that. All the way up to 18 now.
Morikawa, you mentioned the good showing last week. Saying he needed it to kind of stay in touch, a tie for 5th in Memphis, and a little tap-in birdie here at the last.
Yeah, that's a solid performance on a big golf course.
Talked to Morikawa last night. He said he's finally seen that shot shape on a regular basis that we were talking about at the U.S. Open.
Can you imagine how many balls he's hit, Dan?
Everybody talks about Zalatoris' ball striking, but his putting really was great on Sunday in Memphis en route to that win. But right there, it was not. That was a little more than 4 feet for a bogey. A little bit earlier today here at the 3rd.